Hi everybody, it's Amanda. I have another book review for a book you're probably not going to read because you've noticed that my tastes run particular. I read The Inquisitor's Tale. It's by Adam Gidwitz, and it's illustrated by Hatem Ale. I like teen fiction. You probably picked up on that theme by now. It's because I'm secretly not an adult, don't tell anybody. I find young characters relatable. In so-called adult fiction, when adults make mistakes or have trouble communicating, I always wonder why they do that. But with children, I understand where the problems lie, and I like watching them grow and change, so I find it good. I also think that it is harder to get published in the teen novel publishing world, and so they have to pass a higher bar. I think that on the whole, the standards are a little higher. That's not to say there aren't really stinky, poorly made teen books out there, but it's just something I really enjoy. The Inquisitor's Tale was amazing. It's one that I will own, so that's always a standard for me. I work in a library. I'm there 5 days a week. If it's a book I think is good enough to have on my bookshelf, that means I'm going to read it dozens of times. I love this book. It is so good. So what's the story? And it has a subtitle, The Inquisitor's Tale, or The Three Magical Children and Their Holy Dog. So there is a boy who is born to a Muslim woman from Northern Africa and a French father. So mixed race child who grows up in a monastery. He's an oblate to the Catholic Church. There is a young peasant girl named Jean, and there's a young Jewish boy named Jacob. Jean has a magical dog. They're all great characters, and actually in the back the author spends a lot of time talking about the historical research he did on medieval France, where he pulled stories from, what his inspirations were, and he had really thoughtful reasons for each of the three characters. And you could feel it when you read the book. The characters are wonderful, and they form a friendship that shouldn't be, and they're all friendless kind of people, so it's got all those quirky outlier pieces to it, where you've got kids who are going it alone who make a pact and become a unit, it's a beautiful thing. It's really wonderful. The other thing I really like about this book, and if you're a person of a Christian faith, there's a lot of Catholicism in it. As I mentioned already, Jacob is Jewish, and there is an interweaving of those two faiths, but really all faiths. That idea that good and holy works are not confined to those two faiths. It's a lovely aspect to share. The other thing, that they all perform miracles. I'm not going to tell you too much more about that, but those all do have medieval source material that the author discovered and decided to give little pieces to each of the characters. They unite and come to the cause of trying to stop King Louis IX from burning, I'm not going to remember the name, not the Torah, but the other holy book of the Jewish faith. The Talmud. Couldn't come up with that word. So he gathers up thousands of Talmuds from all over France and is going to burn them publicly. And the children recognize that as a crime, not just against the Jewish communities, but against humanity. And they unite to try to stop that. Small surprise, as a librarian, I'm also a huge book nerd. The value of books, why they're important. These particular books are, there are ones that are made under impoverished circumstances, there are ones that are encrusted with jewels, but it's capturing the collective wisdom of Jewish communities for years, decades, centuries even. And so just the idea that you could take a torch to a book like that and destroy it for all time is something the kids recognize as a true crime, and they unite against that cause. And it's a beautiful description of of why words are important, why history is important, and that the kids understand that is a great component to the story. The pages are illuminated, so there was an illustrator who adds marginalia to many of the pages, which is delightful. It adds to your experience when you're reading. It's a great, great book.